So events in Paris and elsewhere putting a focus, of course, on national security for the presidential race here in America. Donald Trump pointing out that he thinks it's a weak spot for his rival, Ben Carson. In the latest Fox News poll in New Hampshire, we see that Carson has slipped back quite a bit. You've got Trump and then Rubio and then Cruz and then Carson down below. Watch this.
Trump, 27. Rubio, second place, 13. Carson, 9. He's going down. He's going down. You've got to know about foreign policy. You got to know. Got to know. Got to study. Got to be able to get that stuff right.
You got to be able to get that stuff right. Doug Schoen, former advisor to President Bill Clinton. Monica Crowley, online opinion editor for The Washington Times. Both are Fox News contributors. Welcome, as always, you guys. Good to see you this morning. I want to get your thoughts first on this term, because I read last night Ed Henry was reporting that she was going to refer this to, Islamic extremism, as most people refer to it, as radical jihadists, as if there were people who were waging holy war who were not radical, I guess. It seems a bit redundant phrase.
Here's what's going on. Hillary Clinton is trying to move herself away from the Obama policy, which to many Americans, including this one, is really a policy not only of not leading from behind, not leading at all, leaving the French and the Russians in charge. Hillary desperately wants to separate herself. She is sensitive to the fact that her rhetoric has not been tough enough, as well as her policies, but she doesn't want to alienate the Obama administration, and she doesn't want to talk about radical Islam.
Why does she care about that at this point?
Because she knows the president can and will undermine her, Martha, if he so chooses, and he is a very, very touchy person with a lot of power and a lot of influence.
And an FBI investigation ongoing into her private email and the handling of or mishandling of classified material. Look, this is semantics, radical jihadism. No, it's jihadism. But Doug is right. She's walking a very fine line because, remember, she was the steward of Obama's foreign policy for 4 years as Secretary of State. So while she needs to put some distance there because the country by and large is saying this is not working, this is a disaster and a failure on his part, she can't condemn him wholly because, yes, she's got the political issue, but she also has the national security issue as well.
I mean, the polls show that the people think the administration has handled ISIS badly by 72%. You've got people like Dianne Feinstein and Chuck Schumer moving away. I think the president's becoming increasingly isolated on this issue, and it'll be very interesting to see what Hillary Clinton does in the wake of that. I do want to get your thoughts on the other candidates on the Republican side as well when it comes to this issue, because clearly you have to be facile when it comes to understanding what's going on in the Middle East if you're going to convince people that you are going to be able to explain to them what's going on and why we need to be part of it. Here is a soundbite from Ben Carson being questioned last night by Bill O'Reilly. Let's watch.
You have to really take the fight to them, and you have to strangulate them in terms of the ease of access that they have with cash through world banking systems.
Okay, but
I think we also have to.
Doc, here's where all the politicians, including you, with all due respect, you've got to have specific. Now, last couple of nights ago, I said Article 5 of NATO means an attack on one nation is an attack on all. So that NATO should immediately be galvanized together, and foot soldiers and air should be raised to go into Syria to get ISIS.
So Bill's basically saying to him, come along with me here. For example, you need a specific, like Article 5, to be sort of moved into your rhetoric on this issue. He's so vague on these issues, Doug.
Look, and people want specificity. I'm a Democrat, but I think we should have Article 5 invoked. I think the French should. The United States should be part of it. We should lead it. And we have to do everything necessary, including the possibility of ground troops, to do it. Dr. Carson's been weak. Trump has been assertive. Rubio's been specific. They are going to benefit based on how the American people react to their positions.
I have a few seconds, but is Carson, is this going to end him, do you think?
Look, I think each candidate has their strengths and areas where they're not quite as strong. In the case of Dr. Carson, national security and terror are not his areas of expertise. But I think with the renewed attention on terrorism and national security brought to the forefront, I think those candidates who can't speak with great knowledge and depth of knowledge about these issues, I think it's actually going to hurt them.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys. We'll
Great,
see.
thank you.
Good to see you both.